if they're an art objectively superior than other, or just a matter of pleasures and preference. To answer my question, I have two important concepts to you to know. That is first, art, and second, aesthetics.
Now I'm going to define what art is. As art, we call the set of disciplines of production of the human being for aesthetics and symbolic purposes based on a specific set of criteria, rules, and techniques. Art seeks to represent through the different means the thought of a person. This can be real or imaginary through the use of symbols or allegories. The meaning of art is also used to refer all those manual processes that require an application of a specific rules or techniques aimed at the enjoyment of the human senses. In easier words, we can say that art is an activity or product made with an aesthetics and also symbolic purposes through which ideas and emotions are expressed through various resources such as plastic, linguistic, sound, body, etc. However, it is important to mention that the concept of art is open, subjective, and debatable. This means that anyone can have their own interpretation of the meaning of art. Through time, there have been numerous definitions of art, among them that art is the right order of the reason. This phrase belongs to Thomas Aquinas. Another definition that says, art is that which establishes its own rule. This phrase belongs to Schiller, etc. Once we have defined what is art, we will go on to define what is aesthetic is.
Okay, first of all, to know more about aesthetics and art, we're gonna talk about the meaning of aesthetics, that is, the discipline that studies the nature of beauty and the perception of it. This is why it's closely related to art. Also, aesthetics has different meaning depending of the context that it is used. And aesthetics have four main pillars that are harmony, balance, tragedy, and horribleness. Some authors define aesthetics in a broader way in the study of aesthetics experience and the study of aesthetics judgment, and not those who are related to beauty. We judge that something is beauty, horrible, etc. And when we do that, we are doing an aesthetics judgment. Aesthetics seeks the why of some questions. For example, why some objects, paintings, sculptures are not attractive to the viewers. Therefore, art to aesthetics, as it seeks to generate sensations through expressions. In easy words, we can say that aesthetics is the beauty that a person appreciates when they are viewing it.
With what has been described above, we can say that no art is superior to other. The appreciation of art will depend on the person that is viewing it. But here is a big dilemma, which is, what is anti-aesthetic? It will be that the horrendous, grotesque, and disconcerting can be also beautiful. Can the representation of torture or something inhuman be beautiful? Can get pleasure, even sexual enjoyment of the pain of others, or even your own? You have to know that the main objective of art is to provoke an emotion reaction in the receiver. What is truly important is not what the author feels, but what he makes the receiver of his work feel. The imagination has to be the one that builds the message that the work transmits, without the need for the author to express it directly. For example, contemporary art does not seek serene of picturesque beauty, but also repulsive, melancholic, and provokes anxiety for the intense sensations. So we can say that the anti-aesthetic is not the rejection of a piece of art, nor does it mean that a piece of art is ugly. A better definition of anti-aesthetics is the reflection of a traditional aesthetics, something that is not very common to observe and that can cause different sensation of each person. So as a conclusion, we can say that art in his deepest meaning aims to transmit a feeling through contemplation of hearing of beauty. As this sensation is born of the individual, and although it can be shared, its enjoyment is personal and non-transferable. Aesthetics is also subjective. This means that each person has their own interpretation of beauty. The anti-aesthetics itself cannot exist, because for a person beauty can mean something that is an anti-aesthetic element. So the first thing that should be established in order to understand or judge a piece of art is to know what is understood by art in general and distinguish it from what each person understands by art. For example, for me, art is the ability of an expression to move the feelings of an individual.
Answering the principal question, personally, I don't think there's an art expression superior than another, since all of them manage in one way or another the transferring of the feeling of the artist through their work. For example, if I go to a museum and I'm very sad and the sculptor transmits me the sadness, I will feel it, that another person that is really happy and see the same sculpture as I do, he will not feel it, because we are having different experience and preference at that moment. And this is totally acceptable because we have different perspectives of art and the aesthetics of it.